We're live. It is Friday. The Rich Lieberman Media Pulse. And this thing just makes me absolutely not angry. I am annoyed. I'm mystified at this. And I talked to various people. I'm going to get to what I'm telling you about in a second. I'll give you a little preamble. But only in this market does this happen. Only in San Francisco does this happen. So let's just cut to the chase. John Miller is the Hall of Famer, play-by-play lead broadcaster, primarily radio, for the San Francisco Giants. So now Miller has been gone, as he is wont to do, takes a lot of time off lately. Doesn't do all the games. Nobody does. But has been doing less and less games, swearing off road trips, etc., not traveling as much, and basically doing a very light schedule. But of late, things have taken place that are quite weird, quite mystified at even best. And what it is this. Last week, when the Giants played that very famous game in Birmingham, Alabama, Miller only worked a few games up until that point, went to Birmingham and worked that game. Since that time, has not worked any games. He's taken off. The St. Louis series a couple of weeks ago didn't work in St. Louis. When the Giants returned home to play the Chicago Cubs, he was gone. He's not working the Dodger series, which begins tonight. And that's in San Francisco, not in LA. It's not working the Dodger series. But guess what? Now it's been told to me he's not only not going to work the road trip after the Dodger series. He's missing the entire Dodger series, but he's not going to go to Cleveland. He is not going to go to any of the other two other sites. It's Cleveland, and I forgot the next two, but that's really, who cares? So he's going to basically miss another week and a half, in addition to the last series over a week that he's already missed. So I find that kind of odd. I also find it very interesting, in air quotes, because I'll tell you this, folks. But let me get, before I even get to that point. So Miller is going to miss. He missed all of last week. He's missing the Dodgers series, and he's not going to travel with the team into Cleveland and Atlanta. That was the other city that I was trying to figure out. And then another site. So he'll have gone almost 3 weeks. Prior to this, mind you, he didn't work various series. I have tried to reach out to various people, both officially and non-officially, and cannot nail anything down, which only adds to the mystery. And what I've also been told from various people, that it could be one of three things why Miller has been missing a lot lately. One is health, which he's okay. If it's a health issue, okay. Entirely conceivable. But the other things I've heard, he's, believe it or not, taking a vacation, and he's on a ship. He's on a cruise ship. He loves the ocean and all that, and water and all that. But so he could be on a cruise ship. And the third thing is he's just taking time off, period. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but I did some research. I actually do research. I called around. I called people in LA who are familiar with the Dodgers broadcast situation. I called both the New York teams, the Mets, the Yankees. I called the Philadelphia Phillies organization, and I called the Chicago Cubs. Wasn't too far because they were just in town. And I asked various people involved and not so involved, but would know, would they allow, would they allow, short of an illness, short of some emergency, would they allow their lead broadcaster to take a trip, take a sabbatical in the middle of baseball season? And none of them said yes or no officially, but they did say it's unusual. Everybody said it's unusual. And I'll just answer the question, or I'll give you my own feelings on that part. Hell no, they would not. Now, again, keep in mind, I don't care if Miller is hanging out at the Playboy Mansion from that standpoint. You folks deserve accountability. This is a public sports franchise. This is a heralded sports franchise. When one of its signature, if not the signature broadcaster, is just suddenly MIA, and give me a break about this bullshit crap. John Miller is on assignment. That's their little, they being the Giants broadcast group, their little, what they think is cute way of telling you that they're not going to tell you where John Miller is or any of the others, although most of the others are not away. The Kruko, Mike, Kuiper, Dwayne situation has been explained many a times. They both don't travel on the road, although ironically, Dwayne Kuiper will be going to Cleveland on the ensuing road trip. But that's not the story here. Miller is gone. Again, if he's ill, if there's some medical issue, totally understandable. Although I would, some indication that it is that. Or none of my business, fine. But that's not the case here, I don't think. The bizarrety and the bullshit on assignment. You know what? You want to know why the bullshit on assignment is so bullshit thing? Because even yesterday, which would have been Thursday, Dave Fleming, one of the broadcaster, had to say, I'm going off the on assignment trip thing here. John Miller isn't going to be back until the next Giants homestand, which is almost a couple of weeks away. You folks deserve accountability. This is crap. This is bizarreness. This is frankly embarrassing to a point where the last few games, the Giants have had a 3-man broadcast crew, 3 people to do two avenues, radio, television. The only good thing this past week was that word got down. They didn't want to use FP Santangelo because they know how ridiculous sounding and embarrassing FP Santangelo is. But that's not part of this broadcast. This is quite disturbing in a way, and is indicative of a franchise that obviously they don't care about their radio product. They don't care about their television product. So you got to wonder, what is the end game here? Well, the end game is probably a series of moves next year. But that's, again, we're not going to get way into that. That's a different bowl of weeds. This is having to do with John Miller. And, the more games that he misses, with apparently an acceptance from the Giants, although I have heard otherwise. What does this do to their brand? What does this do to sponsors who pay money to have their games broadcast on the radio? You'd like to think, and this is true, that they would want John Miller. One of the reasons why they're buying time, not just for the Giants, but the fact that John Miller is broadcasting the games, at least when he's in town, at least when he's at the ballpark, when he misses more games lately. And to miss the Dodger series, to miss the Cubs series, to miss the last 2 games in St. Louis, to miss the next road trip and not be back until early part of July, or the next Giants home home dates, to me, is odd. And I'm not going to go for this on assignment crap. You want to take that? Fine. Be stupid. Take the bait. And another thing, and I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. It's embarrassing, and I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. The fact that the so-called Giants press corps, Susan Slusser, how pathetic, how embarrassing, with the San Francisco Chronicle, who covers the team as the beat reporter, Andrew Baggerly, who's full of hot air in that bag, writes for The Athletic. Doesn't equate to anything, but he's part of their so-called press corps. Do any of these reporters, do they ask questions? Where's John Miller? He's a part of the team. He broadcasts the team. He is, in fact, a team representative. In essence, sort of the conduit to the public. This is ridiculous. Yet nobody on the traveling press corps, and there's like 5 people. There's MLB.com, there's the Chronicle, there's the Mercury News, there's the Athletic. Not one of the reporters asked about John Miller. What a joke. They wouldn't do that in LA. The LA Times or the Athletic in LA, would you not think they would ask? They would. Where's Joe Davis? Where's Charlie Steiner? If one of the Dodgers' lead broadcasters was gone for a considerable amount of time without any kind of explanation, even privately, would they allow that in Chicago? Would they allow this in Philadelphia with Tom McCarthy or their broadcasters? Somebody on the Inquirer in Philadelphia would ask. Why do I know? I asked. With the New York papers, would they outwardly wonder why the hell, if Michael Kay, who broadcasts on the Yes Network for the Yankees, was suddenly gone? Now, if Michael Kay had a prearranged schedule where he broadcasts only a certain amount of games, that's one thing. Folks, it is beyond embarrassment. You've got 2 sets of avenues here. Completely abject failures. One, this press corps that doesn't ask questions that are legit. And 2, and perhaps the most important thing, nobody beats an eye. Nobody says anything. John Miller is on assignment. How sad. If you're going to buy that and you want that, so be it. I'm sorry. Not my cup of tea. And I will always, as long as I'm here, I will always ask questions. And those of you that do care, which I do think is the majority of you, wanting to find out where the hell John Miller is, I will be here for you.